Good morning, second graders. It's Miss Skoog here again. But today is my last day of Read Aloud. And it's my last day of student teaching for the spring. But I will be around for Zooms and other stuff too. But I chose this story because it's about a second grade girl. And she writes a letter to her teacher, basically describing different memories they had and different things she enjoyed with her. So I thought it would be a great idea to read this because it's kind of like a goodbye letter. So without further ado, I'll read to you A Letter to My Teacher. Words by Deborah Hopkinson and pictures by Nancy Carpenter. Dear teacher, whenever I had to tell you something, I tugged on your shirt and whispered in your ear. This time I was writing you a letter. He just ripped. Uh-oh. I hope you remember me. I was the one who marched to school that first day, splashed in through every puddle I could find. I wore a bright yellow raincoat and a dark, stormy frown, because for me, school meant sitting still and listening. Two things I wasn't very much good at. I stood there ornery and dripping, just sure I'd get in trouble. But instead, you grinned at me. Good morning. Look at you, standing there like Mary Kingsley, just back from canoeing up the Org River. Who? Where? I said. Mary Kingsley, the fearless explorer. You explained. Someday we'll read about her. And crocodiles. Now, get the mop. Crocodiles? After taking attendance, you made a big announcement. Welcome! This year we'll be planting the first ever second grade garden. It will be a great experiment. Yay! We get to dig in the mud, I shouted. True, but first we read about plants, you said. We'll use math to measure our plot, and we'll write our garden plan. Reading? Math? Writing? I was better at running and jumping. The next week, we visited the creek behind the school to learn more about plants and water. When you weren't watching, I started to hop the rocks. Right in the middle, I got stuck. Look at me. I married what's-her-name, I hollered, trying to sound brave. Watch out for the crocodiles, you called back. Then you rushed to rescue me. On the way back, you held my hand. I never told anyone how much I was shaking. Oh, fall. I tried hard to sit still. Right before Thanksgiving vacation, you asked who wanted to take the Mouse Brothers home. Me! Pick me! Second graders, do you think she took the mouses home? Or the mice home? I think so. But while I was busy eating turkey, my cat Lucy ate one brother. I bought a replacement mouse, except I couldn't just tell you. One day, we were cleaning their cage. You called me over to your desk and told me that we might have to change the brothers' names to Ma and Pa Mouse. You knew the whole time, I said. Laughing, you said, might as well get used to it. Teachers see everything. Second graders, do you think Mrs. Lyric sees everything you do? I think so. Teachers' eyes are everywhere, so they get to see everything you're doing. When winter came, the reading corner became our secret garden of stories. On Friday afternoons, we all curled up in a heap to listen, just like our new litter of mice. I loved it when you read to us, and always begged for more. But I hated being called on to read out loud. I kept tripping over words. Once, right before my turn, I yelled, "Raise your hand if you want to go home." Another time, I clenched my throat and croaked, "Uh-oh, I lost my voice." Nothing fooled you, though. You called me to your desk and asked, "When we make our garden, do you think the seeds will grow right away?" "No," I said. "Everyone knows they need time and sun and water." "Well, learning to read takes time too," you said. "Now, I think you have a cat." "Lucy, the one who likes mice." "I'd like you to read to Lucy every day," you suggested. "It might keep her out of trouble." I giggled. "Maybe I'll read her Puss in Boots." I practiced hard, and you gave me extra help too. One day, you brought me a special book. I met a real author, and he autographed it just for you, you said. I looked at the cover and sounded out the words. Wow, it's about her, that explorer, Mary Kingsley. You smiled. Next week, you can share it with the class. In March, we explored our town. We went on a field trip to an old house. It was full of history and secret stairways. When I slipped away to look for the hidden treasure in the root cellar, you and the whole class had to trudge down the old stone steps to find me. I think even you lost your patience that time. Whoa. The day you brought seeds in for us to choose, I tugged on your shirt. "Can we plant this kind?" The packet says early spring. We have bright red radishes in just a few weeks. Good reading and great idea, you said. Thanks to the math games we played, measuring our garden patch was easy. At last, we turned over our soil and were ready to plant. I was radish crew chief and read out the instructions all by myself. All spring, we weeded and watered and kept garden journals too. Have you ever planted anything at school? It could be a butterfly, it could be a flower, it could be dirt. On the Friday before summer vacation, we wrote out invitations to every class to come enjoy the salad we've grown ourselves. "Splendid spinach," said the principal. "It's because of the worms," I explained. I didn't know how to say thank you. So on the last day, I gave you a present, a memory quilt. Second graders, you put together a second grade quilt. Each and every one of you guys put a piece together. I'd measured squares on paper and made the story of our year in each one. The reading corner, worms in our composite, the magnificent mouse family, and best of all, a picture of you and me. You looked at the quilt a long time, then held it up for everyone to see. Thank you. Now I'll never forget you at all. In the year of the second grade garden. Me either, I promise. I never have. For a long time now, I've been wanting to write to tell you that even though I didn't always listen, and I knew I was not listening, second grade really was the best year ever. So I guess you won't be too surprised to hear that I still like to stomp through creeks, dig in the garden, and even read out loud to my cat. Most of all, I wanted to tell you that I'm about to start my first job. And tomorrow morning, when I go to work, I think about everything you helped me explore and try my best to be like you. I didn't know that the woman that was writing this was about her when she was little, and now she's an adult like me. So I could write a letter to my teacher like this. Thank you for being my teacher. Your student. This was a really good story. So after, my iPad fell down. After I am done reading this, I want you to respond to the post and tell me one memory or one thing you enjoyed doing with me when I was in the classroom with you. It can be my read alouds, it can be number corner, it can be me taking you to lunch, it can be recess, it can be anything. Just any memory that you have with me. I would like to hear those. I'm going to miss talking to you guys. I really am. I'm going to miss teaching to you guys. But I hope you have a good rest of your day.